What's up, guys? It's Tony and Christian here, aka the Resale Brothers, coming at you again from the warehouse. And today the video is 13 tips from the seven-figure sellers, and the seven-figure sellers are us.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Been doing this for a while now, and we've hit over millions of dollars in sales. So we thought we could share some of the tips that we do every day with every listing with you guys, so that you can help improve your business.
All right, guys. Tip number one, don't follow people that no longer sell on eBay. Trends shift fast. Be careful taking advice from sellers that aren't active anymore. I mean, some are still good. There is the exception to the rule. But as a general rule of thumb, you want to be following people and taking the advice of people that are staying plugged in with current trends to give you real-time results and adjust based on what's working now and not what worked, say, 5 years ago. I know reselling has changed a lot since even when we first started. So you want to make sure you're following the right people when you're getting advice online.
Yeah, and also, just because they are actively selling doesn't mean that they're putting like YouTube first. So if they're trying to be a YouTuber versus seller, I might try to steer away from that because they're just kind of repeating stuff. We are sellers first, always have been, always will be.
And there's always those people that they do $20 in sales a month, yet somehow they have a YouTube channel, so they could just be a not very good reseller.
And there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, if they're a good personality and people like to follow you, great, that's awesome.
But don't follow what they're doing in their business.
All right, tip numero dos. I wouldn't just comp stuff and to just comp it high and think, okay, I'm going to price it at the top of the market. And hopefully it sells that high. So like we do, we price to sell things, not to have it sit around and hope we can get the highest amount for it. So we look at the actual sold stuff, and if there's some sold between $10 and $30, but most of it is in between, like right around $20, we're not pricing up there at 30, hoping we might be the one that sells it at 30. We're going to try to be practical, sell it in the middle, list it in the middle. Hopefully our listing is set apart from the other ones.
So price to sell, not to sit. We actually have an example too. I did a search. So this is an item that we sold in the past 90 days. It's a Charles Tyrwhitt button-down shirt. We sold it for around $20. It's about 18 plus shipping. And if you pull up Charles Tyrwhitt pink shirts, this is kind of what you get. You get a broad range of items. This one up here for $31.49 is priced really high. This person is trying to get the very most.
Also pre-owned, if you didn't see that.
Pre-owned. He's trying to get a lot of money out of this shirt. He's number one on the page because he's sponsored, but nobody's going to buy this shirt for $31.49 when they can get 50 other ones for $20. So if we filter down to the sold over here on this exact item, which is one that we obviously just sold because I just mentioned that, you'll see that this is the one we sold. It says $21.85, but we took an offer on it, so not exactly that high. But the ones that are selling are in around the $20 and actually less price range. So this is a prime example. Make sure you're pricing your items accurately, because if you price that at $30, it might be 3 years from now you still haven't sold that shirt. So it's really important to get your pricing right.
Yep.
Tip number three is list every day, no matter what. So eBay rewards consistency. Use scheduled listings or tools like Nifty, which we use to drip feed your listings daily. A listing a day keeps the algorithm happy, keeps sales flowing through your account, and make sure you're hitting specific categories and subcategories as well. If you have a bunch of shirts, like button-down shirts in your store, make sure you're listing several button-down shirts every day. That way you keep getting that traffic and you keep those sales piling in.
Now, you're going to hear some people say that listing every day is not necessary.
We hate those people.
Well, calm down. If you don't list for a couple of days, you might not see any differences. But if you go like a week without listing or something like that, you'll start to see some trends of down numbers in your sales. So we recommend you list every day, be consistent, whether it be 5, 10, or 75 like we do. You have to be consistent with your numbers.
Also, I mean, all these platforms, eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Depop, doesn't matter where you're selling, these platforms are front loaded. So you get the most traffic within the first couple days of having the item listed. So you want to make sure you're getting that front loaded traffic and listing every day. If you have a big pile of clothes sitting in your warehouse or wherever you do your eBay business. If it's just sitting there and it's not being listed, I mean, you have no opportunity to sell that item, obviously, and you're not getting the increased traffic. It's a lose, lose, lose. Make sure you're getting your stuff listed and make sure you're listing every day.
Get those death piles gone. All right, numero cuatro. Don't be scared of volume.
Tip number 4.
So there are a very limited number of $100 flips out there. You're not going to find them every day. We don't find them every day. So,
Hardly ever, yeah.
If you want to be more full-time or you want to make more money doing this, you can't be scared to sell more items for lower dollar amounts for lower profit. So instead of making $50, $60, $70 on a flip, you might make 10 to 15 on a flip. And that's how you scale.
And this is one of those examples of kind of like we talked about before, like don't follow every reseller on YouTube that maybe they did it 5 years ago and it was a little different. We found that a lot of the thrift stores in our area are marking stuff up. I don't know if it's like that in your area, comment. But for us, all the good stuff is marked up. I mean, not all of it. I shouldn't say all of it, but I would say 90% of the really good stuff that's going to sell for 100 plus, that stuff is marked up. So if you want to be competitive and have a functional business, you're going to want to hit, like we said here, that $15 to $40 price range, items that might not sell for the most money, but they're going to get you consistent income and they're going to help keep your business running.
And this ties back into tip number 3, because if you want to list every day, you have to have items.
Yeah.
So whether it be, like I said, 5 or 10 items, you still have to have those items to be able to list. And if you're hiding out looking for that $100 item and that you're not going to compromise and buy anything else, you're not going to have stuff to list. Your stuff is going to sit that is there, so you're not going to have any of that front-loaded traffic ever. So still look for the $100 flips, and if you like that business model, or not, that doesn't actually have to be 100, it could be 50, whatever, but just bigger flips. If you like that model and you like to do that, fine, go ahead, but don't be closed-minded to selling a little bit more items for a little less profit.
And I think that a lot of the sellers that are looking for these big profitable items, like $50+ profit per item, a lot of these people are going to be the part-time resellers that just want to have like a couple hundred item store. Maybe they're not doing it full-time, but they want to make some money on the side, and that's completely fine. But if you want to follow the 7-figure path that we have, you're going to want to make sure you're mixing it up.
Which, and another one last thing, if they're YouTubers, it's very clickbaity. Christian and I do it too, where you get a really good item. Obviously, you get a really good item, you want to share
Christian
it.
Does
you want to say, I sold a $100 item. That's awesome. So some YouTubers or people, that's what they go after. They're looking for that next item that they found at a yard sale that they can make as clickbait, put in their title, and you're like, man, I wish I could find all that stuff. But really, they're not finding them that often either. So like we said in the first one, be careful of who you're following, because they can make it, it's like any other social media, they can make their lives seem amazing that they're finding all this great stuff, and you're like, man, I can't find anything. So yeah. Anyway, where are we at? Number 5? You're up.
Oh, I got an itch. Hold on. We'll edit this out.
No, we won't. Leave it in. Leave it in, guy. We don't have an editor.
Tip number 5 is curate your inventory. Now, what do we mean by that? It means stick to quality items, solid brands, good sizes, good condition, if at all avoidable. Avoid the damage items that aren't going to sell stained. It happens every once in a while. We'll get something that's stained, but if that happens, sell it cheap, get it out the door. You don't want to sit on an item with a flaw. And if you can, niche down. Say you sell only men's clothing like us, kind of helps us. We have a certain client base. They know kind of what we sell. That if they're looking for it, they come to our store. Height-based pieces, sometimes they don't move. Like maybe a certain style is really trendy. Not saying don't buy it, but be careful. Maybe don't go all in on a certain style, because as you know, styles come in and out. So just be careful with that. Keeping a tight inventory that sells faster builds buyer trust, and it'll help you grow a reputation for your store. Now, if you're doing a volume game, kind of like us, maybe you'll have a little less of a tight inventory. Some items that
I think what you mean by tight inventory is not in the amount, but in the items, in the quality, and so you're not letting stuff in that's not in a good shape or not good.
You're not listing an extra small Old Navy shirt because it came in a lot that you bought, and you think maybe I'll get $2 for this. I mean, a lot of the times when people buy in bulk online or from wholesalers, they'll get stuff like that. That's going to completely destroy your eBay store. Don't list it. You're not going to make any money on it. That's why I kind of.
Also the hype based is more applied to like women's clothing, I would say.
Yeah.
Men's clothing, we don't have a lot of variation in trends. There are some that are more trendy, but for the most part, you can be pretty consistent with men's styles as opposed to women's styles.
And I think hype based with men, so I agree with that on used clothing and stuff like that. But hype based for men's could be buying Yeezys and paying like $200 for a pair of Yeezys. At one point, that was a good investment. Now the Yeezy market's a little more saturated. There are still some good ones, but if you spent $200 for a pair of Yeezys 2 years ago, that same pair could be worth $100 now. So hype based doesn't necessarily mean I'm buying this from the thrift store. It could be I bought this new Yeezy release. I thought it was going to go to $500, and now I'm stuck with these Yeezys. So keep that in mind. Kanye might have some crazy tweet, and then his value of everything's going to go to the floor.
Number 6, promote your listings. I know it's one of the most frustrating things with eBay is having to promote your items, but you got to pay to play the game. And there are some people that
pay up.
I mean,
got to pay the troll toll, baby.
They want to promote at like 1 or 2%, like the bare minimum. We don't do that. We do a varied rate at 8 to 10%. So normally ends up being closer to 10%,
which is a lot of money, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what we would sell if we weren't promoted. So yeah, it is a small percentage, but it's something that if you're trying to sell a lot of items, you need to do. So,
but if you're,
as you can see with the Charles Tyrwhitt example, that guy was on the first page, number 1 on the first page at $31. Still not going to sell it at that price, but he's on the first page.
He's got a better shot. Yeah, he's got a better shot of selling it.
Yeah.
Even though he's probably, I don't even know what he's paying to promote it to get it on the first page, but probably quite a bit.
So, promoting is not a negative in every aspect. Yeah, you have to pay a little bit, but can also be your friend.
Oh, I was going to say, you don't have to, I don't want to give the wrong impression that you have to promote everything. If it's an Arc'teryx Atom jacket, you don't have to promote that. It's going to sell. So there are obviously variables when it comes to promoting listings. Some things don't need promoted. But as a general rule of thumb, we always like to promote our listings. Next is tip number 7. It is run sales and coupons. We're constantly running sales and coupons. eBay has built-in promotions that keep your store active and competitive. Whether it's a flash sale or a 50% off coupon for watchers or sending offers, promotions help drive urgency, and they definitely lead to a lot more conversions. It's going to get you way more sales. So I think most people run sales and coupons, but if you're not doing it, if you're a new eBay seller, definitely put some time into that. Make sure that you're always running sales and always having coupons in your store.
I believe our coupon is like 20-something% off. That sounds scary, but you can cap it. So ours is capped at a certain percentage to where if somebody's trying to use the coupon on a $300 item, it's not going to take all that money off. So you can make it to where it's less scary. But yes, coupons and sales have made a difference for us.
Coupon. It sounds like it's a Q, but it's a C.
All right, let's accept more offers.
Is it Q or Q? Sorry.
Accept more offers and don't get attached to your items. So what we mean by that is we get a lot of offers. We've been accepting a lot more, especially this year, just because I feel like the bigger ticket items aren't selling as quickly or for as much. So we're taking more offers, moving more product, kind of taking a whatnot approach to eBay, just getting rid of stuff. Still making money on it for sure. But being able to move our inventory, we don't want to keep it. So if we get a $5 or less offer than we want, normally, say we got a $15 offer when we wanted to sell it for $20 at the lowest. It's like, well, I mean, we're going to get it moving, we get it done. Like, this item it's not like we're never going to find something like this again. So don't get attached to your stuff. Also, send out offers. We say this all the time. If you have offers to send them. Don't wait for the next day because if you do them all in the morning, there are some, I've seen channels where they're like, you send offers out in the morning, you do your messages in the morning, do all that in the morning. Well, yeah, you do that in the morning, but when people are in front of their screen at home in the evening, they either aren't checking, they didn't get a notification, blah, blah, blah. They get that notification at night, they see it, they're like, oh, I forgot I like that item, boom. And then they buy it then. So you should send it out throughout the day, not just one time during the day. So
Tip number 9, photos sell, lighting matters. Make sure that your lighting's good on your photos. You don't want any dark, dingy photos where people can't tell what the item is or it just looks bad. Having a good setup is ideal. Pictures are king. It's what's going to make the buyer gravitate towards your item. It's what's going to sell the item. And first impressions matter. Make sure that first picture is really, really nice.
It also makes your setup more consistent and easier to do and more repeatable. So the better your...
Let's pull up our Charles Tyrwhitt.
The better your photo setup is, the faster you can be. So yeah, if you...
Like this picture, very well lit. Is it perfect? No. Is it better than most people on eBay? I would venture to say yes. Our lighting's good, nice laid flat. We have a nice close-up of the logo, nice close-up of the size, material tag. We have accurate measurements on all of our listings. That's also very key. You want to make sure that your measurements are included. A lot of times people will ask. You'll get a million questions if you don't have the measurements. So including that is a huge plus for us. We always like to do that on every listing. And we also do a picture of our SKU. That way, if there's any confusion at all, we have the SKU for reference on every item.
When you sell similar, a lot of the times it can be easy to not change the SKU, or you thought you changed it and you hit save and it didn't do it, blah, 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 whatever. If you have that redundancy where you can check the SKU, you can
make
less mistakes.
Right.
Okay, where are we at?
Tip number 10.
Offer free returns and fast shipping. Now, there are an infinite amount of people that ship within 3 days. Totally fine. 100% okay if you want to do that. We saw an increase in sales when we've done same day and next day. The difference between those two, negligible, not a big difference. But people see that you have to ship the item out within a day. I think that makes a big difference to them, especially people that are buying stuff for events, that are buying things for presents or something like that. If they know that their item's going to be sent out quickly, that makes a difference. Also, not charging crazy high prices for shipping. So not having varied rates, not varied, what's the one where I forget what it's called. There's a flat rate, and then there's the one.
Variable?
The one where basically they type in their address and eBay charges them the shipping price that they think it would be. We do a flat rate for stuff that weighs less than a pound and a flat rate for stuff
calculated?
Yeah, calculated. That's what it's called. We never do it, so that's why I always forget it. But for 2 pounds and under, we have a specific flat rate. Most of the time, we either break out even or we make a little bit of money. Sometimes you lose $1 or $2 because something's going really far away. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You make up for it in the end. But also accepting returns, free returns for 30 days makes a big difference too, because you get to be top rated seller. You get a lot of advantages. You get breaks on fees. You get a whole bunch of stuff for being a top rated seller. And the return rate that you do get from people, if you have quality items and you have accurate measurements, your return rate's not that high. Ours runs between 2 and 5%, depending on the time of year. Sometimes it's a little higher depending on the time of year. The more summer months, I think it's a little bit lower. So we are running right around that 2 to 5%. So if you think of all the items you sell, it's really not that many things that you have to deal with return-wise. So it sounds scary. It's not hard to deal with. It's easy to do. So it's something that can help you out a lot.
Tip number 11. Crosslist intelligently. Don't rely on eBay alone. Now, this kind of goes back to the people that haven't resold in a while. In my opinion, if you're a full-time reseller, it's crazy not to crosslist, especially with all the software out there. We use Nifty to crosslist the Poshmark and Mercari, and it's so nice, so seamless. I mean, it's literally the push of a button, and boom, I have a listing on Poshmark. It's fully integrated with my eBay store. If something sells on eBay, it's automatically taken out of stock on Poshmark. No Chrome extensions, nothing like that. It is completely hands-free, automated cross-listing. So in my opinion, it makes no sense to not cross-list in this day and age, especially with AI tools that help you integrate your old inventory if it's not already linked up. Cross-listing to me is an absolute no-brainer. So if you're not doing it now and you don't like where your sales are at, definitely consider Nifty. In my opinion, it's by far the best cross-lister. And there's a lot of these new AI softwares that are out to help you with eBay. I know of several ones that have just came out recently, and everybody's talking about them, but they don't cross-list. So it's like, well, some of them don't cross-list. So if you're going to pay all this money for this AI software, why not have it be a cross lister that you can get multiple sales on other platforms as well? And it still has, Nifty still has all of the AI features that these other softwares have. So you get all the same AI features, fills out all the attributes, and it cross lists, and it has other features.
D-list too.
Yeah, automatically delist if something sells. And it has the recreate feature, which basically keeps you constantly having fresh inventory, getting that boost in the algorithm. If you have any questions about Nifty, we have a video kind of explaining that. We also have a free mini course that runs you through all of that and gives you all the information you could possibly want about Nifty. But long story short, cross-list intelligently. Make sure no matter how you do it, whether you use Nifty or any of these other softwares, make sure you're cross-listing and getting that extra sales for your store.
Yeah, we also have a code, Resell Bros, 15% off. And then we also, what else was I
It's
gonna say?
it's the biggest discount you could possibly get on Nifty. So if you're considering it, try it out. 7 days free.
It's,
You'll get
it's
it.
also not just Poshmark. They do pretty much any platform you can think of.
Depop.
Mercari, Depop, I believe
Even
Facebook too,
even Etsy. Yeah.
So you can do all that kind of stuff. And everybody asking about Depop, why we don't sell on Depop. We're considering doing it soon. We just haven't gotten there to it yet because we're dealing with eBay all the time. So
All right, next tip.
Number 12, optimize your titles. Now this is something that is, if you scroll through the listings on eBay, you'll see people that have like 3 or 4 word titles. Seems crazy to me that they think it's ever going to sell. Or you ever seen those ones where it's like 3-word title and then they have a picture of the item on their door or something like that? It just blows my mind. But anyway, so titles are the first impression, what people see along with the pictures, but it's also what gets pulled up by the algorithm of eBay for people searching stuff. So you want to fill it up as much as you can. Try not to use fluff, with dumb things like rare, like super rare or stylish, or
Like even on this shirt as an example, I mean, we got the brand name, we got what it is, a button-down shirt. It's an adult medium. It's got a pink plaid pattern. It's slim fit. Everything you would possibly want to know about this shirt. We have it, but it's very simple, very broken down to where it's based on what somebody would actually search for on eBay. It doesn't have to be too complicated. There are certain like things like houndstooth.
For this brand, and I know people are going to ask, why did you put adult in there ahead of men's? And it's like, well, that brand specifically is 99% men's.
Yeah.
So if you search Charles Tierwit, you're only going to get men's stuff.
Right.
So why are we putting men's that high up in the title when we could put something else up there in the title? We still have men's in it.
We have a plan.
But if it's something that's more unisex, like say Faraday, something like that, where they have button-down shirts that are men's and women's, then you want to put the men's up there higher in the title so somebody can actually find what they're looking for.
Right.
But yeah, put the most important stuff in the beginning, the brand, and it's we've talked about this before too, sports teams kind of stuff, or something that is, the brand is not the star, the item is the star, where it's okay, this is a Ohio State Buckeyes t-shirt. The brand is JanSport, or like Cutter and Buck, or something that is not a Nike, or something that's not an Under Armour, or something like that. So you put Ohio State Buckeyes first, and you put the brand at the end, because nobody's searching that brand, they're searching Ohio State Buckeyes. If it's a more prominent brand, you put Ohio State Buckeyes, Nike, Polo, or something to that effect. So playing with keywords and being able to put the right stuff in the right spots, and putting only things that are good for the item, and knowing your good keywords, stuff that is important, like these shorts we've been selling. I think I've talked about them before, but they're cargo, but they look like Safari shorts, and Safari has been selling these that are brands that are nothing crazy. They're some just Kohl's brands,
magic keyword,
some Kohl's brands, but you put Safari in the title, and it makes a big difference, and they sell for $15 to $20 used. So stuff like that is knowing your keywords and putting them in your titles and making sure your titles are as good as they can be. It's huge.
All right, last tip. I get it. Praise the Lord. Tip number 13, recreate. Don't just relist. And we kind of talked about this in tip number, was it 11? Kind of talked about Nifty a little bit.
Yeah, Nifty, yeah.
But even if you're not using Nifty, make sure that you're recreating your items. If you have an item that's really old, you can use Sell Similar, or you can use Nifty's. If you have Nifty, use Nifty's recreate feature. The recreate feature is even better than sell similar in our opinion. We've seen a bigger increase in our sales using that. It basically takes an old listing. So say I have a listing that's in the 20,000s. We listed it in 2024. It'll delist that listing, pull up a brand new listing page, refill it out with all the information from that old listing, and then push it to eBay as a brand new listing. We've seen a crazy increase in traffic on our eBay store and on those items that were recreated. And we're selling way, way more items. I'd like to say that 30–40% of the items that we're selling are items that have been recreated. So it's a little bit of an algorithm hack. We have a video actually titled eBay Algorithm Hack because in our opinion, it's really increasing our sales by a lot, over $100,000 up over the year prior. And basically the biggest change we did was adding Nifty in the recreate feature, which you can do yourself by doing sell similar and just refreshing your inventory. But it's super important to not let your inventory get stale and make sure that if you're not adjusting prices, running sales, that you are, because sometimes it's not even the item. You could have a brand new with tags item with a great title. It could be a great brand like Ralph Lauren or something like that. And it could just get lost in the algorithm. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with the item. Nothing wrong with the title. Nothing wrong with the listing. A lot of times there are stuff wrong with items when they don't sell. But it could be nothing. It could just be lost. We've had, I don't even know, countless items, hundreds, maybe even thousands of items that has actually happened to. And Nifty is really helping us sell that stuff really quickly. And it's pretty much automated. So the reason we like to use Nifty is because, and like I said, you could do a sell similar as well. But the reason we like Nifty is it's automated and it's just a lot faster, saves you a lot of time.
And you can do it manually too.
Yeah.
Manually works better. But also, you always, I think you hear people a lot say, I do sell similar my oldest items. Why just your oldest items? So we start at our oldest,
True.
obviously.
Yes, good
but
point.
as we go through the inventory, we do a certain amount a day. And I mean, you get to a certain spot, okay, this thing is 15 days old. We said all these platforms are front loaded. So even if it's 15 days old, it's not going to get seen as well as a 1 day old listing is.
Or if it's a pair of shorts that you listed in January or December and it wasn't hot outside yet. Well, that's a perfect example of an item. Maybe it's not even on eBay that long, but hey, I'm going to recreate it and get that traffic and get it seen by more people and just make sure it's fresh and ready to be sold.
And we always do that before seasons change too. So in
Right.
around probably the end of August, September range, we'll go to all of our old sweaters and coats and jackets, and we'll recreate those so they're fresh for people coming in to buy them. And they can be seen instead of the stuff that just got listed by other people and they're not seeing our old stuff. We can recreate our old stuff to look like new things, and people can do that. Now with Poshmark, it gets a little iffy because they don't want you taking stuff down right now. There's that whole thing with Poshmark.
Right. We have a video on that as well.
Yeah, the video right now. This video is being made in June of 2025. So hopefully they fix that. Hopefully, if you're watching this in the future, they fix that problem. But right now, when you take stuff down, even on eBay, if you sell it on eBay and you take it down on Poshmark, if you do too many, they mess up your account and get you suspended and do stuff like that. So be careful that way. Maybe not recreate a whole bunch on Poshmark, but that's one good thing about Nifty is that you can not do it on Poshmark and still do it on eBay, Mercari, or every other platform you list on. So you can really optimize your situation without getting in trouble with other platforms. So I have one more quick tip. Those are our main 13, but one more quick tip before he goes into the outro here. eBay gives you a lot of advice too. So don't just look at what we say or what other YouTubers say. Go to eBay's website. They tell you how to optimize a listing as well. We're just giving you our experience from selling over the last few years and what we've noticed and what works for us. Still look at your own things and what works well for you. Also go to eBay and they're giving you the answers to the test at a certain extent. They're telling you what they say they want out of a listing and what they want out of a seller. So take that into consideration as well.
But thanks for watching, guys. If you're new to the channel, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, get all of our notifications. We put out a lot of content, we show you guys a lot of what we're actually selling, which we think is very valuable to people, which is why we do like hour-long what sold videos to try to help you guys see what's selling and help you with your business. Also, we have that free Nifty course. If you saw us talking about the recreate feature and you're interested, you can go over to our Gumroad make sure you check out that course, and it'll kind of walk you through all the steps so you can even kind of see how it works before you decide to actually purchase it or start your 7-day free trial, which I would definitely recommend if you are maybe a newer reseller, or if you just don't have Nifty and you're more experienced. I think it could be very valuable to your business. But thanks again for watching, guys. I think that's all I have. You got anything else?
Yeah, just like, subscribe, maybe throw a comment our way. It helps support the channel. If you don't want to do anything any other way, that is something that's really easy that can help us out.
What about some motivation?
Yeah, motivation is, I don't have any motivation. I've lost it all.
Don't give up. Keep working. Keep grinding. You know, let me pull out my...
And watch Resell Bros.
Yeah, watch Resell Bros. Be smart. Make sure that the people that you're following, like we've said throughout this whole video, make sure they're doing it. Make sure they're giving good advice. And check them. I mean, comment on their video, and if you think they're full of crap, comment, hey, I think you're full of crap. And then, you know, just start conversations.
Christian's trying to start internet shade. But anyway,
I'm just kidding.
We'll see you in the next video.
Peace.